guys, what's going on? It's Eli back with another review video, and for this one, I did plan on reviewing this, and also recently, Mr. Mindblocks requested me to review this as well. Now, as you read the title, yes, I am reviewing Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Yep, so as I said, I had planned on reviewing this, and again, as I said recently, Mr. Mindblocks requested me to review this. So what can I say about Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit? Well, I love it. It's really great, and for it being Artman's second stop-motion animated film, like the first one they did was, of course, Chicken Run. And, of course, with the help of DreamWorks, I heard that Nick Park, I think some people, I think DreamWorks or somebody at Artman, I guess, considered, maybe they should do, a Wallace and Gromit movie and such. This was before Chicken Run, but Nick Park, who the creator of Wallace and Gromit, wasn't really sure if he was ready to do a movie of his two characters. And that's when they went with Chicken Run. And that was until after Chicken Run, that's when I think Nick Park decided to give it a shot by doing a movie with the two characters, and thus being Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. And I heard it took 5 years to make it, so that'd be say, maybe up to 2001, I guess. That's when they started. I don't know if it said 5 years, maybe in 2000 to 2001 or something like that. I don't know. What was I gonna say? And, I gotta say, Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, it'd have to be my number 2 favorite stop-motion animated film. The first being Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. For number 3, I'd say maybe Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. Yeah, because it's good too. So, anyways, and with Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, everything is great from the characters, from the two main characters, of course, the other characters in the film, of course, the stop-motion animation to it, the music, everything is just amazing. Even some of the characters, I read, because a few things I read is that, DreamWorks was considering on replacing Wallace's voice with a celebrity, but Artman, very smart of them, and of course Nick Park, they're keeping Sellers. Because let's face it, with Peter Sellers, he has been definitely the voice of Wallace. I mean, because since he had passed away, they got a new actor. A new voice actor had been playing Wallace, and he does a pretty good job. And I think I remember Nick Park saying in an interview, because of one of their last films with Caveman and such, he said that, he thinks that, Peter Sellers, he'd want them to continue Wallace and Gromit, and yeah, I think Peter Sellers would definitely want them to do that, in fact, I'm sure he approves of the new voice actor who's been voicing Wallace, so yeah, and the new voice for Wallace, he does a pretty good job, an outstanding job, sounding with Peter Sellers, etc., but anyway, so, and also some of the characters, Victor, the main antagonist of the film, the villain, the kind of goofy villain, he was originally supposed to be the son of Lady Tottington, and he was originally called Tristram. That's a weird name, don't you think? But yeah, I think I said it correctly, Tristram. That's what he was originally going to be called, and he was supposed to be Lady Tottington's son, but they did change that and such, with Victor, I guess, being the Gaston and such, going after Lady Tottington, and kind of having a hatred for Auntie Pesto, and especially Wallace, So, of course, with the movie, of course, Wallace and Gromit, they've been going through a lot of stuff, just being normal citizens, building gadgets, from being, this window repair shop to being, an Auntie Pesto, getting rid of rabbits and such from people's gardens, And, of course, they keep the rabbits at their home, keep them in, cages, etc., as we see in the movie. And, of course, all those pictures they have of the neighbors and the citizens in that town, that's, for them to alert if a rabbit's in their garden, etc. You know what I'm saying? You guys probably have seen the movie as well. So, of course, they get a phone call from Lady Tottington. A lot of rabbits are at her house, etc. Victor appears, Watto, heard you had a spot of a rabbit bother, Victor wants to go at it for the rabbits while Auntie Pesto arrives. Auntie Pesto manages to suck all the rabbits in, like, this contraption they have in their vehicle. Excuse me, and it even causes to suck up, like, Victor's toupee and even himself. That's when, like, this confronts Wallace, I'd like my toupee, please, my wig, I'm sorry, my dear, etc. Anyways, and that's, like, Wallace has this contraption of a machine where to get inside the rabbit's minds, and he uses it, it's on top of his head, like, veg bad. And it does work, apparently. Like, it wipes from their heads, of going crazy for vegetables, etc. But then there's a slight problem, like, as he, like, gets a newspaper, relaxes, he accidentally hits a switch, I guess with his foot or something, and it causes one of the rabbits to go right on his head and such, and he gets half a mind of a rabbit, etc., and like, oh, shut it off, Gromit, And of course, later on in the movie, later on during that night and in the church and such, and, oh god, what's his name? Vicar, or, I don't even know, I can't remember his name, the priest, or whoever, whatever his name is, like, the were-rabbit appears, and we don't know until later on that it's Wallace, and back at, Wallace and Gromit's house, they get all the portraits, their lights blinking as everybody alerting Auntie Pesto, etc. And then there's a staff meeting and such at the church, and that's when Auntie Pesto is put in the job of chasing down and catching the were-rabbit, and, like, Wallace and Gromit, they built, like, a size version of a lady rabbit, Wallace and Gromit is controlling, of course, make their way into a tunnel. It causes it to tear off from the truck. I like how with Gromit, he's like, whoop, he hits on top of the roof of the car, because he was attached to the lady rabbit, Wallace gets out of the truck and, like, go fetches the lady rabbit, stick around, lad, should fix back up in a jiffy. Gromit is in the truck, he listens to music and waiting for Wallace, and he honks his horn to alert to get Wallace, like, he coming back and everything else. And that's when the were-rabbit appears, and it's up to Gromit to go to get it. Even the look on his face, like, oh, I have to do this myself, And Gromit's eyes, in all of Wallace and Gromit, it says it all, with his personality, etc., with his eyes. So, I think even Nick Parks established it pretty good, too, so, and that cool scene with Gromit against the were-rabbit, the rope attaches to the were-rabbit, and it causes the van, the Auntie Pesto van, to go underground as well. And that's when the the rope detaches from the were-rabbit. Gromit loses the were-rabbit. He goes like this, and it causes the airbag to come to get in his face, And he makes his way back to the house. Wallace is there, so when did you get here, lad? I thought I told you we were supposed to stick together as a team, They make their way down to the basement, and they discover, like, the rabbit that got half into Wallace's mind, I guess, And, like, he kind of makes, is about to do something like, and he burps, in Gromit's face, and the rabbit's like, Wallace is shocked, I guess. That's when Gromit makes his way into a room and sees all, like, vegetables and such, I think, in Wallace's room, and that's where Gromit realizes that Wallace is the were-rabbit. And then Wallace, has like a dinner date or something with Lady Tottington, It's the beast, your ladyship, Gromit makes his way, Victor's there, I think, but then when he sees, like, Wallace is with Lady Tottington, he's just pissed off and such. And when Gromit shows there, like, Wallace is about to dive into a giant carrot that Lady Tottington shows. And then Gromit, he throws something, I forget what it is, maybe a vegetable or something, causes the faucets, like, to go off. It causes them to get wet, and Wallace, he's in the van, like, what on earth were you thinking of, lad? Ruined a profitable evening, etc. And that's when, like, Gromit is just driving really fast just to get back home and to get him out of the sunlight, you know? And they stumble upon where a tree is on the road, basically, blocking their path, and Wallace gets out of the van trying to move it. And it turns out that it was cut, and it was Victor who cut it, because confronting Wallace, you know, I know exactly what you're doing, you know, comprenez, you know, and like, come on, you know, and Wallace, like, shaking, like, you're shaking, you know, there's no mercy, and Ray's about to punch him, like, you know, Wallace grabs him and such, like, he basically throws him, and he lands on the van, and that's when Wallace, he transforms into the Were-Rabbit, you know, and, you know, Victor, of course, Victor and, his dog, what's Victor's dog's name again? I forget, but, you know, and then Gromit, they witness Wallace turning into the Were-Rabbit, and yet Victor's the first one, besides Gromit, to know that Wallace is the Were-Rabbit. Well, you know, Gromit knew first, and then Victor found out too, so... And I love that scene with him and the priest, you know, then it's funny, like, you know, everything you need to know is in this book, and, like, Victor looks on the table, non-wrestling, no, not that one, a book of all mythical creatures, and then comes across the Were-Rabbit, so, you know, and then, of course, later on in the film, they're back at their house. Wallace the only thing he has of the Were-Rabbit is the ears, you know. I think even, yeah, Wallace at one point does say, "What's up, dog?" Not dog. Yeah, I think that, obviously, he'd say dog, you know. They make their way back to the basement, and then there's the rabbit version of Wallace, basically. And it is Peter Sellers doing the voice of that rabbit, you know. But, of course, they made it high pitch, etc., you know. If you find a video, or if you can do it yourself, you know, lower the pitch down, it's Peter Sellers' regular voice, you know. And, like, Wallace, he's trying to fix something. I don't know what it is, but, you know. But he keeps mistaking some parts, even one part, as, like, a carrot. And, like, he just breaks down and crying and said, I don't want to be a rabbit. You can feel how upset he is of being like that, etc. And Gromit feels it. And then the rabbit version of Wallace, you know, he can fix it, everything. Hey, Pesto, look at, you know, but if I can't fix it, you know, like that. There is a name for that rabbit version of Wallace, and I forget, but, you know. Lady Toddington appears. Wallace hides his ears with, you know, a hat, I think, that Gromit lends him. Of course, the transformation starts, you know, and that's when Wallace at the window, you know, it upsets Lady Toddington, and then Victor, he's been there, he's like, that's right, my dear, you can say goodbye to your Auntie Pesto. Snaps his fingers, and, like, his dog gets the gun and such. Because again, Victor knows obviously knows that the transformation is beginning. He's gonna shoot the crap out of Wallace, you know, / the Were-Rabbit. And so Wallace is now transformed into the Were-Rabbit. The rabbit version of Wallace goes up to bed, like, you know, good night, Gromit. And Gromit fools the Were-Rabbit / Wallace and putting on the Lady Rabbit suit, you know, and getting the Were-Rabbit's attention. And Victor does, like, fire his gun and such, but he thinks he shot the Were-Rabbit, but no, he shot the Lady Rabbit. He shot the head off, basically. And he puts Gromit in a cage and such, and then he goes off to kill the beast. And everybody in the town because there was a festival going on with vegetables and such, they think that the beast is dead, they celebrate, etc. And that's when Victor comes in, he informs the policeman, you know, policeman that we see at the beginning of the film, and, like, he takes his hat off, and it's a big, giant, freaking pointy head that's bald, you know. And he alerts him that, you know, whispers, you know, the beast is not dead yet. The beast is not dead yet! He flat out says it, you know, in the megaphone, you know, bullhorn, and, like, everybody is frozen still. Even Cotton Candy flies by like tumbleweed, and Victor, he's just, you know, you idiot, basically, and, like, and then the policeman, he, you know, with his bullhorn, you know, just oops, you know, and everybody panics and such, and one of the townspeople and the old lady, like, because we saw it earlier in the movie, because a rabbit was going after the pumpkin and such, and, like, she, like, has the pumpkin in a baby stroller, like, it's not getting my baby, just running away and such. The were-rabbit comes out, pops up, like, underground and such. The rabbit version of Wallace gets Gromit out of the cage, and then they go after the were-rabbit, which is Wallace, and, even throughout the movie, like, Gromit, like, he has a prized possession, like, of vegetable and such, a giant, I don't know what it is. Is it giant cucumber? What is it again? I don't know the name of that vegetable, but, if you've seen the movie, let me know what the name of that vegetable is, the type, etc. Uses it to distract the were-rabbit, but, of course, with Victor, he used all of his gold bullets to get the were-rabbit, and then he goes for the trophy, the golden carrot, which is a trophy and award. And, like, Lady Tottington, like, tells him that, you can't use it, etc., like, fighting against it. And the were-rabbit sees what's going on. He has a pissed-off look, and he basically saves Lady Tottington. He hits Victor by the head, causing his toupee to kind of rip and such, And then, like, and also he kicks Victor, and he lands, like, I think on, in a cotton candy machine. And even you can hear the Wilhelm scream. Like, this guy, I think he carries, like, a watermelon and such. He kind of trips. I think the were-rabbit kind of hits him. He kind of trips, and, like, you hear him do the Wilhelm scream, which is funny. Then the little bit between Gromit and Victor's dog, them fighting and such, and them chasing, them, on top of, like, the roofs, everything, on the planes, from that little carnival kind of ride of planes, remote control airplanes, And Victor with cotton candy here is funny, and Lady Tottington finding out that the were-rabbit is Wallace, and even Victor kind of slipping out of his mouth that, that he knew that he knows that Wallace is the were-rabbit, Lady Tottington confronting him, and he uses, like, a hay stick or staff or something, like, hold Lady Tottington where she is with her long, pointy sticked out hair. It's funny. Even, like, later in the film, you see she has bandages, like Band-Aids on her hair. Why? It's just hair! My God, And then, of course, like, it seemed like Victor almost gets the were-rabbit by the giant golden carrot, but no, like, Gromit saves the day on a plane, and Victor, just like, no, Even at one part where Victor, like, is stuck, or, like, he hangs on to something and his butt shows, and the priest is like, beware of the moon, it's funny. And I also like that part with the townspeople getting their mobs, like, get your angry mob supplies here, I love what that guy, what he said, it's funny. And, of course, they all crash into, like, a tent and such. The townspeople come in. Gromit puts Victor in the lady rabbit suit, and they go after him. Even Victor's own dog goes after him too, bites the tail, and then he and the townspeople go off and such. It seems that, like, Wallace dead or something, I don't know, but then maybe unconscious, I don't know, but, then, Gromit uses cheese, does that, and, of course, he's okay, etc. He's completely naked, puts on a box, and you notice that shot where two bunnies hug each other, that, and that's when all the rabbits return to Lady Tottington's house, even, of course, the rabbit version of Wallace, and he gets the last line of the film. We cut to where he's in the sky and, like, cheese! It freezes, I think it shows the words, the end, and boom, the movie ends, the credits roll, and Wallace and Gromit's theme plays. Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, it's a fantastic stop-motion animated film, and even, I think, it's the first one to win, it was the first one to win Best Animated Feature. It even beat a Hayao Miyazaki film and even Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. And funny thing is, Helen Bonham Carter, who she voices Lady Tottington, she also, of course, voiced Emily / the Corpse Bride in Corpse Bride. She was in 2 stop-motion animated films that were nominated for Best Animated Feature, and one of them won, which was, of course, Wallace and Gromit. So I remember watching that, like, on YouTube, and you can go check it out if you want. Like, Nick Park, and I forget who else they, because they're up on stage, and they brought little bow ties for the awards. That was pretty clever of them. And they mentioned that Peter Sellers, was at the Oscars tonight, and thanking Jeffrey Katzenberg, everything, and yeah, and DreamWorks did a really great job working with Artman, for at least three films they did. Thus being Chicken Run, Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, and their last one, Flushed Away. So, and I even remember, I read that even legendary and / famous stop-motion animator Ray Harryhausen paid a visit to the set, which was really cool, actually. Shortly after Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, I think I heard the original studio for Artman, it burned down, basically, which is kind of sad. They lost a lot of good stuff, I think, from some of their awards, etc., which is a bit of a shame, really, to what had happened to them. But I think they're doing okay now, of course. New studio and new company they're working with. I think they've been working with Sony, I want to say. Yeah, Sony Pictures in Columbia, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, so with Wallace and Gromit, well, I give it, of course, you know what, why not? I'll give it 10 out of 10 stars. It's a really great stop-motion animated film, and for it being Artman's second stop-motion animation film. And you guys let me know what you think of Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, because again, for me, I love it, and it's really good. And again, shout out to Mr. Mindblocks for, in some ways, requesting me to do this, even though I did say that I was planning on reviewing it. But still, I, of course, mention you, and you requesting me to do this, so, and you can let me know what you think of Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit as well. Just, I'll plan on reviewing more of Wallace and Gromit, of course, later on, so, So again, 10 out of 10 stars for Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I hope you guys enjoyed this review video. More new review videos coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video / review video. Take care, peace out, and cracking cheese, Gromit.